Kira here for our very first challenge with multiple YouTubers. So I'm going to link everybody below who's going to participate in this challenge. But it is a Project Life challenge, and what we're doing is randomly picking cards from our stash and then making them work for our Project Life. So I've done this previously in a video, and that's where obviously we got the idea to do the challenge. And what I do is I figure out like how many cards I need for that week, and then I add 3, and then I randomly choose that number. So like this week I needed 5 4x6 cards, and like I don't know, I needed a lot of 3x4s. So I picked out 8 4x6s, and then I put back 3, and then the ones I was left with were the ones that I chose for this challenge. So I'm going through, I picked randomly, my eyes were closed when I picked these, so I didn't know what I was picking, it's just what came up. So the first thing I did is I really wanted to use the blue plaid because I think it's a really pretty color blue. I'm kind of obsessed with that card. So I really wanted to use that, but none of the other cards really went with that. So I was like, well, I'll use this colorful one because then I can use like even more colors. And so I was going to use, because like the yellow works with that one. And then I wanted to use that one that I just had there that said like joy up top. And most of the time with Project Life cards with the 4x6s, like you'll have one side is meant to go vertically and one side is meant to go horizontally. But that one was only vertical. Like you couldn't use it horizontally. And so that, it didn't work for this layout that I'm doing because I didn't have any vertical 4x6 spots. I only had horizontal, and then all of my 3x4 cards had to be vertical because that's just how my spread was this week. So I kind of went through, picked out my 3x4s, and those actually, it was not that difficult to pick because a lot of them, and you can see that a lot of them are very neutral. There's like another yellow bordered one, and it looks like it's from the same Project Life kit because it's almost like the same exact color yellow, and it's not. It's from a completely separate kit. And most of them are not really from the same kits, so they are completely randomly put together. But the 3x4s actually, I was quite pleased because it made my job so much easier. I did have a lot of pictures this week. I ended up having to not put on a few of the pictures, which is fine. I mean, I have to do that a lot of times just because I have so many pictures. And usually I just kind of keep them in a pile, and then I know that I should probably do a 12x12 layout of that picture later on, just so I have it, in my scrapbooks. So I've got all my pictures kind of laid out how I want them, and I'm going to start with this with the left side and kind of work my way over to the right side. So I'm going to start with this blue plaid card. And like I said, this was my favorite one that I had picked. And this is from the Gather Collection Project Life kit. It's just I just love that color blue. It's just so pretty. So I picked these 2 pictures of my kids at the park. Jonathan's like sitting on this rock, and he's sitting on it because my husband had sat on a rock. There's like these big rocks that go all around this park, and there's probably like 6 or 7 of them that kind of just go around the entire circumference of the park. Is that what I want to say? Anyways, they just go around the park. And so my husband was sitting on one, and then I came over and I sat on another one. And so then Jonathan went over to that one and sat on there. And so he was like all smiling and all proud of himself because he sat on this rock, and it was just really cute. So I took a picture of it. And then that same day, We've got Elliot is like on the actual, playground equipment, and he's like really obsessed with like sticking his fingers down like the holes of the wood. So that's what he's doing in that picture. I just think it's really cute because he's got these, cute little baby hands. So I've got a picture of that there. I'm layering it up with these little frames, which I fussy cut out of a piece of paper from, what collection is that? Gather, I think. So the green goes perfectly with the green of that little tag part of this card. And then I brought in that little piece of, I think it's from a cut apart, and it says "You Are My Sunshine." I believe that's from the Paige Evans Take Me Away 6x6 paper pad. And then that camera is just a stamped, it's a stamp for my stash, my LE Studio stamp, and I just fussy cut it out, and I wanted to put some pink on there because I do have some pink in my other cards, and I just try and bring in as many colors as possible so it all kind of goes together. And I have these circle puffy stickers that I got from a pen pal, and I just stuck one of those on there just to bring it has like blue and green stripes. You can't really see, maybe you can, I don't know, but it's like blue and green stripes, and it just kind of pulls in the blue and the green from that card as well. This card, I had planned to do more, but I wanted to journal on it too. So I just stuck down a picture, and this is just of Elliot. He's just like grabbing onto my lap. I was sitting on one of the rocks at the park, and because he's still not walking. I'm going to say that every time I do a voiceover now. Still not walking, that kid. But anyways, he's like, he has to hold on to everybody to, move around. And so he had grabbed onto my leg, and he was just standing there, and, he likes to scream and talk and, like babies do. So that's all he's doing in that picture. I have a couple pictures, these selfies of me and Jonathan, and I had posted them on Facebook because it was like, the one time that I can actually get him to smile at the camera, and I'm making like these goofy faces in both of them, and I was like, God damn it. Like, of course I'm making a goofy face in them. So I posted them on Facebook and was like, yeah, the one time I get a good picture of my kid and I'm looking like a doofus. And I had a friend that was like, oh, that's when I just cropped myself out of the picture. And it's like, oh no, I'm not cropping myself out of the picture. Like, the pictures are going in my album because I don't care that I look like a doofus. My son looks adorable, and I'm not going to crop myself out of there. That's ridiculous. I mean, please tell me you agree with me that that's ridiculous. So I just layered one more of those frames under there. I fussy cut out some flowers. I believe these are from an Amy Tangerine paper. I added a little more pink. This is just like a punched circle from another paper, and put that on there. And one of my cork hearts from Mary. This next picture, I didn't feel like I needed to do anything else to it because that yellow that is around the border of that card matches perfectly with those like flower bushes that are behind Jonathan. And I just thought that it looked really nice together, and I just didn't feel like it needed anything else to it. So I just left it as is. It's actually a pretty simple layout for me, and it was really quick this week. Everything just came together really quickly. So I have a picture of Elliot here. He likes to scavenge his brother's apples. So Jonathan really likes apples, and so he always eats them. But I don't know if you've ever given a toddler an apple, but they take they basically bite all around the apple once, and then they're done with it. And if they want more apple, they have to get a brand new one, because heaven forbid they actually finish the apple they've eaten. So he'll leave the apple sitting on his table, he's done with it. And so Elliot goes behind him and picks up the apples, and it totally grosses out my brother-in-law. Last time he was over here, Elliot did this. He found one of Jonathan's apples and was started eating it, and he was like, oh, gross, you're gonna let him eat that? And it's like, who cares? I don't know, maybe that makes me a bad mom, but I don't really care if he's eaten his brother's old apple. Like, it's not like it's been sitting there for 3 days. Like, he just decided to set it down. He was done with it. So Elliot goes behind and gets it. So I had a picture of that, and I put it on top of one of those frames that it had sized out kind of perfectly to fit in one of those little Polaroid frames. And then I put a little punched out circle on top that says "My love." I was going to use like this little piece that said like "You are my favorite," and I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I have a really, really hard time using pieces that say my favorite or you're my favorite or anything about being my favorite and then putting them on a picture of just one of my kids, because I'm worried that they're going to like go back and look at these as they're older and is like, oh, Elliot was your favorite, like I wasn't, and I don't want them to feel like I had a favorite, which I do all the time because it's whoever sleeps the most. That's who my favorite is. So it varies from day to day. But in my album, they don't need to know that I have a favorite. So I didn't use that. I just went with the "My love." The next card is a picture it's like a selfie I had sent to my husband because Elliot's going through a really, really clingy phase right now. And he just like has to be on me all the time, and it's kind of exhausting. And so I had taken a selfie and sent it to my husband, and then I just stamped, I got a new stamp set for Mother's Day, and it says #MomLife. And so I stamped that on there and put one of those little cork hearts. I just like the way that came out. The next card I'm going to do some journaling on, but it's a picture of Elliot in one of our moving boxes. And then I I stamped on there and punched it out and then popped it up on a foam dot. And it says "me time." And it's kind of funny just because like he was driving me crazy. He kept driving me crazy because he goes after, my parents have like a surround sound system for their TV downstairs, and Elliot like will not leave it alone. Like it's a perfect height for a baby to like grab and like pull down, and like he kept going after it, and he presses all the buttons and like it changes like what station it's on and stuff, and it drives me insane. I cannot emphasize enough how much it drives me insane. So I kept putting him in the box so he would like leave me alone and I could get stuff done. So the me time stamp kind of just worked perfectly. The last card, I covered up a lot of that colored card just because, well, it is a lot of colors, and it's probably the card that kind of clashes the most out of all these. And I covered most of it up, which isn't really cheating. Because I wanted to include, my son Jonathan had done some painting that week, and he'd kind of done like a perfect handprint, and so I just cut it out of the paper that he was painting on and decided to use it in the spread this week. And it was teal, which I always kind of use teal in my project life, and I think there was some teal in that card that I put it on too. So I just put that on there and then put the picture of him painting, that picture. I put that on there. So I have those together. So that was that card. This top card that's got like the 3 pictures on it. I usually don't do that many pictures on one card, but it's kind of like a little sequence of events. And it's really, really cute. I had got this stamp set for Mother's Day, my husband got me a bunch of stamps from Studio Calico, and I'd been really wanting an alpha stamp set. And I was waiting for this one to come back from Ellie's studio, but then I asked her if she was going to be getting it back in stock, and she said she wasn't. So I went ahead and got this one from Studio Calico, which is a very similar font. Anyways, I got it. We opened the stamps together, me and my son, and he saw the alpha stamp and thought that it was for him because he loves the ABCs right now. You know, he's learning the ABCs. He knows pretty much all of them. And so he wanted to play with them. And so we played with the ABCs. And so I usually don't let him actually do the stamping, but since I was right there and I was watching him, I thought it would be okay. He was going to ruin anything. So in the first picture, he's putting the stamp on the stamp pad, and the second picture, he's stamping it down on the paper, and then the third picture, he lifts the stamp up, and he's like smiling because he's got the stamp down there. So it was just really cute how I just got like the whole sequence of him stamping in those 3 pictures. So I had to include all of them in my project life. And then I kept that card that's like the silhouette of the boy. I kept that as just a filler card this week. It brings in the blue from the first side, and I like that it's a silhouette of a boy because I've got 2 boys. So, my project lives are all about them anyways. So, it works. And then on the next card, I wanted to bring in some blue. And you might have seen that I had originally put down a different tag, and I thought that I wanted that there, and it said like photo details or something like that. And then I didn't really like the way that it looked, so I tore that off and then used a different tag that had the same color blue, so I'd be able to bring that blue back in. And then the next card is another one of our selfies where I'm making a goofy face and Jonathan looks cute. And then it's got like happy down at the bottom, and that was just part of the card. I just thought it was cute. The next card is a picture. It looks like a mess, right? So we went through all of the boys' toys so we could decide what toys were coming with us, what toys were getting trashed, and then what toys we were going to donate. And we actually, the ones that we ended up keeping, we probably kept maybe a third of the toys that the boys had. So we actually got it down quite a bit, donating quite a bit, tossed quite a bit. So that was all the toys that the boys had. We brought them all downstairs and sorted through them all. And it was a really fun night, let me tell you. But just one of those necessary evils when it comes to moving, I guess. And then the next picture is another like Elliot being clingy picture. He's just laying on my legs. We were just watching TV or something. It's kind of cute. I mean, you can't be too upset when a baby wants to be clingy because you kind of know that it's going to like run out eventually. Like there's going to come a time where he's not going to want to cuddle this much. So I like it to a point, and then there's that other part of me that's like, I just want to be left alone. So I've got that on there. Next picture is Jonathan at the park with a wood stick. If you watched my video last week, you'll know that he's obsessed with wood sticks right now at the park. And the picture that I'm working on right now, I'm doing a little journaling on top of the photo. Mary got me this white gel pen. This is my first time using it. So Jonathan, he likes to steal my phone every once in a while, and he likes to take pictures. And so that's a picture that he took, and it's just of his little feet. So it was just kind of cute. So I printed it out, and then I just wrote photo by Jonathan. And then the journaling card that I used just happened to have a camera on it. And again, it just kind of like this week just kind of turned out perfectly and with very little thought involved. And then I've got some more picture of my kids at the park. And then the last card I'm just using as a journaling card, so I'm not putting any pictures on there. And I will actually journal about a story that I don't have a picture to go with. So I'm going to journal about how one morning I was getting Elliot down from his nap. So he'd woken up from his morning nap, and I was bringing him back downstairs. And Jonathan was sitting at the table, like finishing his breakfast or something. And when I was bringing Elliot down, Jonathan's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. And I was like, what? Give you what? Like, what are you gimme about? It's not like baby has anything. And so I like brought like Elliot over to him, and he's like, gimme baby. And I was like, okay. So I like brought Elliot over, and then he's like, give baby loves. And so he wanted to give Elliot a hug in the morning. And so it was just really sweet. And so I texted the story to my husband, and then I made sure to copy the story so I would know to write about it later, because it's like those little stories that you kind of don't think to tell because they're just kind of like simple everyday stories, but it's just kind of a cute little story to have in our Project Life album. So I really liked having that in there. So I'm just putting on some finishing touches to all of the cards, and that will pretty much finish it off. I'd love if you guys joined along in this challenge. Make sure to check out all of the other ladies. We've got Tori, Hannah, Julia, Mary, and Megan are all going to be part of this challenge. I will again link all of the videos below, and I hope you guys enjoyed my process, and I hope you enjoy all of theirs as well. So I will see you guys later. This will be going up while I'm on the road, so I won't have any other videos until we are in San Antonio. And my husband wanted me to say, Kira Ness signing off. So there you have it. You guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.